Why does Generation X seem emotionally tougher, more skeptical, and less impressed by hype than almost anyone else? Why do they often trust themselves more than systems, companies, or promises about the future? Gen X grew up during a strange psychological transition phase. They were children when stable post-war structures began to crack. Divorce rates rose, economic security became less predictable, and many grew up as so-called latchkey kids, coming home to empty houses after school. Psychologically, this creates early self-reliance. When adults aren't consistently present, the brain learns. Don't expect protection, learn to cope alone. Research shows that childhood environments with uncertainty and lower perceived support shape adult attachment styles. People who grow up with less emotional and structural safety often develop a more avoidant coping style, relying on themselves, keeping emotional distance, and being cautious about trust. This doesn't mean Gen X is cold. It means their nervous systems were trained to expect instability. At the same time, Gen X watched big promises fail in real time. Corporations promised loyalty and downsized anyway. Governments promised security while scandals filled the news. Psychologically, repeated disappointment wires skepticism. When the world violates expectations often enough, the brain updates its model. Trust is risky. Independence is safer. There's also a powerful social comparison effect. Gen X stood between two very loud generations. The baby boomers before them often carried strong moral certainty and economic optimism. Millennials after them grew up with digital connection and emotional language. Gen X learned to stay quieter, more ironic, more emotionally reserved. Humor became a coping strategy. Cynicism became emotional armor. Neuroscience shows that repeated exposure to stress during development increases sensitivity to threat cues and reduces baseline trust in external systems. That's why many in Gen X value competence over enthusiasm. They respect people who deliver, not people who promise. They prefer autonomy over belonging, not because they don't care about connection, but because autonomy feels safer than disappointment. This also explains why Gen X often resists hype culture, motivational slogans, or corporate "we're a family" narratives. Their brains learn that nice words don't guarantee safety, so they listen less to talk and more to patterns. Who shows up? Who follows through? Who disappears when things get hard? When Gen X clashes with younger generations, it's often a clash of nervous systems trained in different worlds. One learned to build emotional language and community online. The other learned to keep expectations low and resilience high. Neither mindset is superior. They're adaptive responses to different realities. Once you see this, Gen X doesn't look distant or pessimistic anymore. They look psychologically consistent. Their independent skepticism and emotional control aren't personality flaws. They're survival strategies that worked in the world their brains were trained in.